Hey everyone, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to Cyanwood City, Pokemon Gold. This is turn 61. Jump into things. Alright, so we start off right at the top. You know that saying of if something is too good to be true, it normally is? Well, suddenly, Silver the Lugia disappeared in a puff of smoke. So, when I first saw this turn, I was absolutely just fucking beside myself. But I've since had plenty of time to figure out what happened and realize that it's honestly not that big of a deal in the long run. So, what did happen is this. Apparently, within the mod with all of the legendary quests and everything like that, the mod creator assumed, and I would have assumed this too, I still don't know why this isn't the case. The mod creator assumed that giving the Pokemon, right, giving them the unique tag would mean that if someone tried to cast the spell multiple times, that would be that. It wouldn't work. Much akin to elemental royalty. If you try to cast the spell when they are already in existence, it does nothing. Okay? You fizzle, you lose your gems, done and done. For whatever reason, though, that is not the case. For whatever reason, the way the spells currently, and we don't know if it's on all of the Pokemon Quest spells, but we do know it's at least on the Lugia one, and I'm gonna assume it's on several of them. Is that you can just keep casting the spell over and over and over again, but there's only one Lugia, which means it's just a cycle. Whoever casts it last gets it. So, we came to find out that Pewter City had originally cast the Lugia spell and outfitted. That's part of the reason why it came with, or not part of the reason why. That is the reason why it came with items. Is because Pewter City had utilized those items was utilizing the items on the Lugia to boost in paths. So, long story short, we are sans a Lugia at the moment. And we've got more information to play around with now. So, like I said, I was pissed when I opened up the turn and was just like, what the fuck happened? This is horse shit. And then I went through everything and I was like, okay, I see what's happened now. That's annoying. It's unfortunate, but whatever. Because remember, right? At the end of the day, that Lugia, we weren't sure we were gonna get it to begin with. So getting it, period, and realistically, we shouldn't have gotten it, because had it been working the way that it was supposed to, Pewter beat us to the punch on that, we wouldn't have gotten anything out of it. So, we got a Lugia when we shouldn't have, okay? That was a expenditure of 50 water gems. Whatever. We were going to do that anyways. No big deal. Not fucked up about it. Losing the boosters, right, is like, oh man, that sucks. But they weren't my boosters. And I got them for free, right? So it was this scenario of like, oh my god, oh, Windfall. And then they got taken away from me. But what was I going to use them for? I was going to use them to do Galegate and then do things like summon Zapdos and stuff like that, right? I can still do that. Now, the Pokemon quests are going to be more difficult to try to do, and now that I'm aware of the Pokemon quests issues, there's that inherent risk. But now it's an arms race. Now it's a scenario of, okay, who has the gems to be able to snag uniques away from people in dire moments, you know? So just like with the Steelixes, as soon as I get the opportunity, I'm going to play into it, and I'm going to assume that people are going to play into it as well, right? So I lost the boosters. That's unfortunate. Now I know next time. Now I know, one, to be extremely careful with putting anything on the uniques, right? And that if I snag somebody's unique, then I probably need to take any items that are on them off them as quickly as possible. Okay, so that's all interesting information. So I can still, at the end of the day, though, I'm still going to be able to cast Galegate. I gained, and here's another thing that I forgot to even say anything about. I gained incredibly useful information, right? Because of the whip, because of the Taskmaster trait, being able to confer that. I didn't know about that at all, you know? So that's actually a very big discovery, and other people might have discovered it. Obviously Pewter did, right? But it might be that only Pewter and I know about that at the moment, and that might be a big thing for us. So, this is a bunch of really interesting stuff. Is it annoying to have this be happening? Sure. But I look at it this way, right? If the spell was working the way it was supposed to, if the unique tag was working the way it was supposed to, then I never would have got this Lugia to begin with, and I would have lost out on really vital information like the whip. And yeah. So at the end, this is 7 minutes of me saying still worth, I think, in the long run. So with that, let's go ahead and jump into the turn. We'll go down everything like we normally do. This is not a super duper exciting turn. This is kind of the big event, right? Is losing the Lugia, just like getting it was last turn, or not the last turn, but the turn before that. So, but yeah, we'll go from there. So, no, it was last turn. Anyways, site searching. We got an enchanted windmill. That's cool. That's +1 air gem. Nothing with augury. Voice of Apsu got us a sink marsh. That is +1 water gem. Very nice. Haruspex got us nothing. Dark Knowledge got us a Labyrinth of Skulls. That is +1 death gem. Very nice. I think we're up to 7 death income now, which is pretty cool. Arcane Probing got us a Crystal Garden. That's another +1 pearl. Nothing with Gnome Lore. Kyogre quest was successful, so we did get a Kyogre. Very cool. We got Auspex. Nothing. Didn't get anything with our nurse site searching either. Okay, so we've got a series of battles. This is our Black Belt Go battle, and it was just against PD. So we're going to watch it real quick, just because we want to see how they perform generally. So it's... everyone goes up. They all come down. They immediately assassinate the commander. Our guys come down. Very easy peasy. We actually do get a limp on Spiccato. I think Spiccato might have already had a limp. But it goes back to the concept of, like, these guys actually are kind of fragile. I think he got it here because he did lose a chunk of hit points to the explosion. So that is something that we do have to worry about. These guys are fragile. This is one of the reasons why I didn't immediately just invest in, 20 Black Belt Goes with a bunch of Great Swords of Sharpness. Is because if they start dying, then I'm just giving people a bunch of Great Swords of Sharpness. So, but I think as far as a goon squad goes and as far as a raiding party goes, they'll do just fine. So next up, Steelix Champion tried to pop on Kunal. We caught them with Tarbal, killed them. Very nice. Uh-oh. Okay, so we're going to look at this. This is a new Doom stack coming from Olivine City towards Violet City. Okay? And this is pretty sketchy. So, there are 7 Steelixes here in various arrays of kitted out. Several of them just have flasks. Some of them have flasks and Great Swords of Sharpness. One has a Vine Shield and a Dancing Trident, etc. But no one's fully kitted out or has crazy items, so no big deal. We've got Schoolgirls here to body ethereal them. We've got a goon squad of guitarists with Skullgirls to body ethereal them. We've got a couple of other things going on. So this Ampharos champion is moss bodying everyone, basically. So moss body is really annoying. Has a chance to reduce a bunch of damage and then pop in a poison cloud, basically. So that's kind of annoying. And then I think this guy is probably, doing Legions of Steel. They're just getting buffed to hell and back, which is kind of what they expected. And then this little group over here is actually doing some summons. They're doing Magneton, I guess Jays. They're doing Magnetons, and Magnetons are interesting. They actually have a ranged tri-attack that does a bunch of different shit. It's very strong. So, this is a scary, and there's also 4 regular Steelixes, and a bunch of Skarmories. So this is actually a kind of scary little army. We are going to have to deal with that. So we've got, we were countered in Woods of Weeping, we were countered in Banded Hills, we attacked and won in Storn Woods, though we're taking casualties. Same in Farron Mountains. We attacked in Trouble Bog with no casualties. We got hit again. So this is now... Fuck, this is... I think this is 60 fire gems that he's used on us. That's kind of fucking intense. And really hurting. This has put Cyan... We're like 10k down from where we were. And every single turn that he is doing this is costing us... Well, now it's actually costing us less and less money because Cyanwood City is making less and less money. But this is actually costing us close to 350 a turn, I think. Maybe more. Maybe closer to 500. It's costing us a lot every single turn that it is successful. And it's a huge pain in the ass. Yeah, all I can really hope is that we get lucky with a couple of blocks and or he runs out of fucking fire gems soon. It's kind of annoying. Oh, didn't mean to exit. Next up, we've got our Dire Pig is still a thing. Actually, I think this is a new Dire Pig. We got False Prophet in Silver Grove. We found a new silver deposit, which is nice. That's like an extra 75 gold or something like that per turn. And we discovered a scout. Fortification unharmed, battle affliction secured, did a bunch of patrolling, did a bunch of promoting, and the god of Azalea City has been permanently vanquished. Azalea City had been in and out of the game for the past 20 turns, maybe. They were very small, and they weren't... They basically just got slowly consumed, and then they were staling a little bit here or there, but good job by them. They made it pretty far into the game, and considering some of the crazy shits that's happened in this game, that's kind of a accomplishment. So, congratulations to them on making it this far. Now they are out. So, let's jump into things. Freaking... Pewter City is huge, and legitimately, there's the chance that they're gonna win. The only thing that is keeping them from winning is that this game requires an absurdly high amount of points. There are 14 thrones, and it requires, right, 14, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, yep. 14 thrones, and it requires 9 of the 14 thrones to win. Pewter could definitely grab 7 of them pretty easily. He's already got like 5 or 6 easily within his territory, and then he's got 7, 8, and 9 are probably on the outskirts, Looking at this one, he could probably come take pretty easy. There's one over here that Ekritik has that he could probably take pretty easy. I think this one is being fought over right now by Celadon and Ekritik, so he could probably swoop in and take that. And then he already has one, two... no, sorry. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So maybe he only has 5, and he's very close, right? It's just a matter of him making some hard pushes in the proper directions. And the people that he would need to be pushing against, I don't think they can really resist him. Like, I don't think Violet City can resist him. I think the AI has the forces. The AI has the largest... AI has the largest army in the game, still, even after... This was a 400 unit loss, by the way, here against Cerulean... No, not Cerulean. Celadon City. But it didn't... Like, drop in the fucking bucket, man. But it's AI. It is impossible AI, but it's AI. It's not gonna survive against a concerted effort, like against a player to take one location. So that's a big problem. And to top it all off, we just don't have a border with him, and we're still in this fucking forever war with Olivine City, which I don't regret because I've had fun doing it. You know, even if we don't win, I've really enjoyed the crazy back and forth that we've done. But more than likely what's going to happen is Pewter City's just going to snag the win in the next 10 to 15 turns. So what I'm going to try to do is what I'm already trying to do. We're trying to end Olivine City with a concerted effort, right? To focus some big armies together and fight him off and put an end to him. And then once, if we are successful, great. Once that happens, we're going to have to figure something out. We will have a couple of borders at that point, but we're going to have to go through someone to get to Pewter City. It just is what it is. And I don't, like, I would say, okay, well, let's go through the AI. That's, you know, but that land is going to be horrendous for me to be moving through. So this is a huge deal. This is a very big pain in the ass. I am probably one of the people most capable of resisting Pewter, just because I picked a lucky nation compared to some of the other players, right? I got some busted units, you know? Machamps are very, very strong. That's a big deal. So I'm gonna have to try to figure out what that plan looks at. I don't know if I try to negotiate something with Violet City, like, hey, you're getting your cap back, maybe you can give me some of this lower portion so that I have a way to fight against Pewter City, right? Maybe that works. I don't know. I really don't know. So we're gonna have to figure something out. We'll see how it goes. So let's just jump into the turn on normal scenarios. We'll talk about going to all of the different fronts. So in Olivine City, not a lot is happening. We're consolidating our raiding parties into the Woods of Weeping, partially because of what's going on over in the Violet City scenario. This is that big doom stack that he's bringing. I want to have an air force nearby that can come into the fight if need be, you know? So we're gonna see how that goes. This is also why the Goon Squad group is attacking in Obsidian Way as well. So that's really all that's happening in Olivine City, is we're gonna consolidate all of these troops down into the Woods of Weeping. Hopefully we don't run into a Steelix. If we do, they're all gonna bounce. Whatever. Okay, we'll see how it goes. What is next? Down to Saffron City. So we're doing a couple of different movements here, right? We have Radan, who is going to be moving out, and he's going to actually do some thugging, some counter raiding. But really, what he's trying to do is I'm trying to test out the theory of can an Earth 3 Machampion fuck up a Steelix's day by hitting himself with weapons of sharpness. So, this guy is Earth 3 and Earth Power 4, right? Or Summon Earth Power will get him to 4. Then a gem, and he's on conservative gem usage, so hopefully he only uses one. But a gem should get him to cast Weapons of Sharpness. Okay? Then he polishes off with Iron Skin, Timber Flesh, and hopefully that doesn't fatigue him the fuck out. He does have a Girdle of Might, so that's going to be a little bit of reinvigoration. He has a Flask of Holy Water, so he's automatically blessed. Right? So he benefits from our rainbow as fuck ass bless. So that's the hope. And I think with Weapons of Sharpness, with all of his attacks now doing armor piercing, not just Karate Chop, but Low Kick doing armor piercing, Seismic Toss doing armor piercing, Dynamic Punch doing armor piercing, etc. I think he can probably take an unkitted Steelix. I think a Steelix with a great Sword of Sharpness comes in and goes stab, stab, goodbye, Rodan. But we're going to see, okay? So that's kind of the game plan with him. Saskalu is coming all the way over. I'm forming a big counter party over here in Scarce Hope Wastes. Not specifically in Scarce Hope Wastes, but we're gonna be moving that direction soon. So just in case he has any plans, he tries to jump some people into Scarce Hope Wastes to fight against Ishkur and Simios and Zinville. I'm trying to reinforce them with options. So Saskalu is going in there. He's got Summon Earth Power, Weapons of Sharpness, etc., etc. Everything else is going normal here in Saffron City, and we're continuing to recruit Steelixes. We'll see how it goes shortly. We did finish our laboratory over here in the Great Dunes. We're not doing anything with it just yet. I do want to get someone over there to cap this throne, but we've had terrible luck down here, so it is what it is. Continuing to do things like site searching, moving over to Violet City. So this is where most of the real action is happening this turn. So we can't face this party with what we have here in Violet City. They will die. So we are moving them down into Scarce Hope Wastes, and we're moving over a bunch of reinforcements just in case something happens there. So we're bringing over Tarbal, we're bringing over Saskalu. We're actually moving Yazar out into Scarce Hope Waste just in case. And then on the next turn, we're probably going to bring everyone back into Three Pine Grove. Or we'll just hold in Scarce Hope Waste, and if I feel comfortable, I'll move the rest of the armies that I plan on bringing there as well. So we'll see. My assumption is going to be that Olivine City is going to do what he does every single time. As soon as he sees enough of a force that can potentially rebuff him, he's going to scatter his stuff to the wind. And that's okay. I'm going to continue marching. This army, once it's put together, is going to march up and go towards Lost Canyon Range and try to actually be a permanent force that he's going to have to deal with. So, we're going to bring all of the schoolgirls, not this turn, but next turn. We're going to bring all the schoolgirls. We're going to do a couple of other things. And yeah, so we'll see how it goes. Moving onwards. That's another reason why I'm moving the Goon Squad up here, is so that if I need to, I can fly them into Violet City or Scarce Hope Wastes or any of those types of options. Alright, so after that, what are we doing? So we've got our group over here of our Amphiroses, but we're not going to move those out yet. We're also moving in, kind of moving down to Viridian City front now at this point. We're actually going to be moving in a group of black belts, shield black belts, and Arbox, right? Because they're both useful units. This is another 30 units, etc. that we can kind of do. I don't want to take too much away from Viridian City, though, because I do want to be able to face off against Vermilion if need be. But, so this swimmer is going to take them over to Three Pine Grove, and then we're going to, next turn, probably move from Three Pine Grove out into Scarce Hope Wastes, and we might actually kind of like steal some of our, like our Cauldron of Broth, enormous bag of wine, etc. Kind of take that on over, see how that goes, because, yeah, I don't want to cause 50,000 disease just walking through Scarce Hope Wastes. Okay, so what else are we doing in Viridian City? We have a little bit of money this turn, so we're actually, not much, but we have a little bit. So we're getting a Karateka. We need to keep our research up. And we are moving Ergen around to site search, and we're actually going to move our other nurse over here, Yolok, out to site search as well. But that's mostly it in Viridian City. We don't really have a whole lot else going. Like I said, I want to keep a strong force here to defend the city. This is a huge cash cow for us, especially now that we've lost so much traction with the population on Cyanwood City. That makes Saffron and Viridian extremely important for us as far as income goes. So make sure we protect them. So moving from Viridian City over to Passable Mountains. We are moving another large force of Amphiroses out of Impassable Mountains, which is why we might not need the Cauldron of Broth and Bag of Wine here next turn. We're going to move them up to Saffron City, and they're going to be at the ready to join in with Chuck's army as Chuck rolls in. So Chuck still has this very large force. I think this is a big force. This is a big-ass army. So pretty happy with what I think that's going to be able to do. But other than that, we're just recruiting Mareeps, continuing the Ampharos factory, etc. We'll see how that goes. Cyanwood City. This is where some of the actual big stuff is happening. So we're forging some gear. Generic gear that can be utilized either by a Machampion or by a legendary unit or something like that. We are forging a Ring of Wizardry this turn, so this is costing us 80 pearls this turn. We are going to be able to turn around next turn, throw the Ring of Wizardry on Cameron the Photographer, be Air 5, and cast Galegate. So that'll be the plan next turn. After that turn, we'll be able to toss the Ring of Wizardry over to Rex. Rex will be Fire 6 and be able to cast Eternal Pyre. So we're going to back-to-back turns just cast Galegate and cast Eternal Pyre. And we're going to dump every single gem that we have into them. This is risky, though, by the way. To a point, right? As long as nothing goes in, my Galegate will go up. Easy peasy, nice. Okay? The risk is that I'm going to put as much as I can into Eternal Pyre, because I'd like to lock it in. But it is possible that the one that I bump is actually my own Stellar Focus, right? And if that is the case, if that is what ends up happening, I'm okay with it. We've gotten to the point to where we have a lot of Astral Pearls. Obviously, I would prefer more, but I'm okay with getting more Fire Gems than more Astral Pearls. It balances out in the long run if I needed to. So. Okay. So that's kind of the general game plan with what's going on with Cameron the Photographer. We're actually moving Ross and Shaikal. They're both Earth 3s, Earth 3 Priest 2s. We're gonna send them on their way out somewhere so that they can be of use. Again, we're kind of testing out the Redan theory right now. Can we throw a couple of Earth Gems on a champion that is Earth 3 and to just send them out, and maybe we can actually send them out as kind of like this slow moving party right? So there's only one of them that actually has to do the weapons of sharpness. So we only have to have a couple gems out among the party. But if we have like 3, 4, 5 of them together, then maybe they can be a bit of a crazy goon squad. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I even like send some Pokefan moms around with them to cast regeneration. I don't know. Who knows? So that's just a plan that we're playing around with. And then the last, we're doing a little bit of forging, like I said, for random gear. But the last thing that's really happening is we have this Kyogre. So we have Zadok Gla, an interesting set of paths. Water 3, Astral 3, Nature 3. This is actually pretty cool. And we're immediately going to try to make use of it. So we're sending Kyogre over to 3 Pine Grove. And the plan is, and another reason why I'm making this random set of gear is because I can put it on a Machampion, sure. But I can also put it on a Kyogre. Okay? And what I can do with this Kyogre is I haven't actually set it up, so it's not just waiting here. But I can do something like Serpent's Blessing, Foul Vapors. This is a big deal. Okay? This is something that we have not had access to at all. This is something that I thought about very early on in the war against Olivine City, right? Because I assumed in the beginning with Olivine City that I would eventually be facing off against armies, which didn't end up being the case until very late, and there are less armies and more very intense thug wars, basically. But this will wipe his non-Steelixes. This will fuck them up. A schoolgirl will die to this in a single turn, which is a big deal. Now, that's a problem for me, right? Because my schoolgirls can die to it in a single turn. But with Serpent's Blessing, I have a pretty good chance of that not happening. At least at the very least, right? This Serpent's Blessing won't fully protect someone from Foul Vapors because it's a roll, right? It's 5 plus a roll. And that's a problem. But it might be worth it, you know? And so alternatively, I might not have to use the schoolgirls, right? If I see a good engagement where I can pull the schoolgirls out, then I have Moonvine bracelets, right? I can put a Moonvine bracelet on Kyogre and not need the schoolgirls in order to do a communion to buff him, right? I could also just use gems, right? But another scenario is I could buff the shit out of him. I could put a communion or crystal matrix on him, right? Make him a communion master automatically in the battle so that he doesn't have to worry about any of that. And then he immediately just casts Serpent Blessing. He does Foul Vapors. I could even get him to the point to where he's doing, and this is a part of a reason why we're going to be going down Enchantment 8. I could have him be doing Mass Regeneration, which would be really, really good. He already can do Mass Protection, or Creeping Doom, for that matter. So Kyogre gets us into a lot of different things. This is very good for us. I'm very excited about this. But again, now it comes with that scenario. Now we're aware. We know, right? We know that the uniques are, well, they can be stolen. So we've got to be very careful about not putting all our eggs in one basket. So I think I still am going to go the route of utilizing a lot of these different units. However, we're going to try to be cautious and use them as ways to enhance or augment, but not be the only answer. Right? That's the plan. And I think in this particular instance, right, I can fly this Kyogre over here in Three Pine Grove and just wait. Pull the armies out, look for an engagement, and I honestly think that Olivine City again is going to play like they have played, right? They're going to play from a vindictive stance. I do not think that if they see an army that they are going to give fair engagement, right? That they're not gonna do the old, the ancient scenario of forming up battle lines and let's fight it out. He's gonna melt away. He's gonna split the force up, etc., etc., and he's gonna raid the shit out of me, which is fine because again, I'm not taking everything that I have into this, so. But I think this is going to be a good potential option for us. We're going to move up with our Kyogre. We're going to see how that goes. And that is mostly it. We've put our boosters to use as far as... I haven't been doing this for a while. I've been doing it with some of our water bracelets, but I haven't been actively seeking out individuals that could wear boosters for the purposes of boosting research. But we can get an extra 15, 20 research out of boosters every turn. So we should be. Though there is that inherent risk, right, that someone gets assassinated or someone gets seduced or something like that. So I might, and actually that's what happened over in Kunal, if you remember, right? We had a schoolgirl get assassinated, with something on, with a skull cap on, maybe? I don't remember. But that's something that we got to watch out for. So, I have done this turn. I've given them out to people to kind of boost research, but next turn I might just be like, fuck that. That's not worth the risk. We're gonna keep them all in the bank, etc. We'll see how it goes. So that is pretty much it for the turn. We got a whole lot of stuff going on. This game never fails to surprise, and it is such an incredibly crazy roller coaster, up and down with where things have gone and how things have gone and what our capabilities are, etc. So I'm very interested to see what happens. I think putting up Galegate and I think putting up Eternal Pyre is going to be very good for us. I also think it might paint a target on us. However, I don't think anything we do right now can paint a target on our back as big as the target that is on Pewter right now. The general discussions that I've been a part of are pretty much everyone, except for me and Olivine City, because we're in this fucking eternal deadlock. Pretty much everyone is like, okay, well, we gotta do something about Pewter, or else Pewter's gonna win. So, and that's probably true. And I'm gonna have to figure out what I can do to aid that. I just can't do it right now because I've still got to deal. It's like 40 turns later, and I still got to deal with the Olivine City problem. Oh my goodness. Oh, well, I'll see you all next time. Bye, everybody.